John and Rose were in a field, holding hands and kissing. They were alone and the sun was high in the sky. Rose was in a long white dress and a sun hat. John was chasing her through corn and sunflowers. He felt happy. She spun around in her silken gown, brushed against the corn as she ran backwards in slow motion. John went to grab her, but she moved out of the way and she stumbled over a giant cliff and fell into darkness. "John," a voice boomed as he hit the floor. "I am the dark genie of precipice, Arida." Thunder boomed. "You or your friends are in grave danger," she said. "What do you mean?" John said. He didn't want any harm to come to Rose, so he was worried since they hadn't had sex yet. "Jade is pregnant with the son of a devil," Aradia bombed as more thunder struck loudly, "and Rose is next." "OMG, John giggled. "You must destroy the damned incubes of a Nith when the moon is full and spill his blood onto Jade and make her drink it so it kills the Baba," Aradia proclaimed. "But who is the incubs?" John demolished as he clenched his fist. Aradia glowed. "You must find out for yourself, John. Unlash the power from within and do not let the demon taunt your Rose, or she will wilt." She handed him 2 plastic horns. "When you put these on, you will turn into my faithful demon slayer, Eridan," she magistrated. "He will serve you well." "Okay," John said, and he woke up. "Oh, you're okay," Rose said, and she hugged John. "What happened?" John elaborated as Dave hugged him next. Dave raged. "Dark magic came out of your McDonald's burger and found its way into your soul." "How?" John demanded. "We do not yet know," Tarvos commenced. "We think that by eating it, it disrupted the force within your purities." "Oh my god," John said seriously. The next day at school, the group sat in a dark corner away from everyone else as Hay tried to think what happened to Jen. What John knew that deep down there was a demon after Rose's ovaries. He couldn't bear the thought of his love falling to such a trap. Maybe it was the food poisoning Pfeffery helped. No, my legs began to shake with a need I have long forgotten when I hit the black aroma, Tarvos said. "Where are Jade?" Rose asked. Dave began to cry into Tarvos' shoulder. John had a feeling in his gut that this was not a god sign. "She cheated on me with a college guy," he moaned into Tarvos. He was so upset. "OMG, Dave," Vriska purred as she pulled his face into her boobs. Dave cried into them instead. "John, we need to talk," Rose announced. "Okay," John said. They got up and went to a private part of the school where no one could hear or see them. John had a feeling that he would be getting lucky, or some people call it, but he knew he had to be careful. He couldn't risk getting his Rose pregnant or the consequences would be fatality. John, Rose moaned, "Will you be my boyfriend?" "Okay," John said. "So you will have sex with me since that's what people do when they go out," Rose said. John could not resist those gigantic bosoms in the tight school top were begging him to rip it off right here and plant his seed deep inside of her. But he did not control himself or things would get bad. "I do not know, Rose," John manifested. "Maybe we should wait." "I am tired of waiting for you, John. I want you to put it in me now." Rose did not need to say more. John teared open the girl's school skirt and her boobies came springing out in a wave of bounciness. They were like bouncy balls, only they were softer. He ripped off her skirt and looked at her panties. There was water already dripping from her panties, and her thighs were wet. He took off his trousers and then ripped her panties into feeling how wet they were between his hands. More water began leaking out of her flower while she moaned. She took off her bra and then pulled out John's hot member and placed it into her sacred area. "Put it in me, Johnny!" she cried loudly. "Okay," John said, and he put his shaft into her tight hole. It was hot and wet inside. She began orgasming and making sexual noises like animals. Oh, John, put it in a little deeper." "Oh, yeah," Rose exclaimed. She clawed his back like a tigress in heat, and John continued to deflower his sweet Rose. He already felt close to consummating their love with his love seed. He could feel the water flowing out of her and onto the floor beneath him. It made him want to drink it all up and feed it to her. He could not control himself any longer. They came together in one giant orgasm. "John," she moaned as he came deep within her cavern, her flowing oozing with the white liquid as she pulled out of her. "No, John, Rose," Jade's loud cry mewed. They turned their sweaty heads to see Jade struggling in the grasp of a man who looked more evil than any other man they had seen. His aura emitted a dark energy that made the clouds come together and boom lightning. "Now the rose has been given the seed. I can plant my spawn," the evil man yelled. "Sullux, it hath been a while." Tarvos trembled as he, Theferi, Dave, Vriska, and Gamziel came running up to the area. "John, use the power of my demon slayer to help Jade," John heard Aradia's voice call. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the plastic horns and stuck them into his head. He felt himself morphing into a different being until he was no longer John, but a purple-caped man with thick-rimmed glasses. "Sullux," John's now deep, erudite voice boomed. "It's time to duel!"